In the heart of the Swiss Alps, where postcard mountains stretch across the horizon and snow blankets everything in white, nature quietly reminds us who's really in control. This is the true story of James Mort, an experienced skier whose ordinary descent turned into a terrifying battle against time, breath, and the crushing weight of snow. A survival story few believe until they hear it themselves. It was January 30th, 2015. The sky was clear, but a storm had dumped nearly a meter of fresh powder the night before. For James and his two close friends, it was perfect. Too perfect. The group geared up at Les Crozets, a popular off-piste haven for seasoned skiers. James had done this countless times before. He checked the avalanche warnings, noted the level 3 considerable risk, but trusted his gut and his gear. The mountain felt alive that day. Every crunch beneath their skis whispered, "Tread carefully." But like many seasoned adventurers, James assumed experience would see him through. With adrenaline pumping, the trio took the plunge into an untouched stretch of snow-laden forest. The powder was knee-deep. Every turn sprayed white flurries into the air. James led the pack, grinning under his helmet. Then, without warning, the world shifted.
Avalanche! Where's James? Where's James?
A low, almost imperceptible whoomp echoed underfoot. Snow around James cracked like a shattered windshield. Before he could react, a massive slab broke loose above him. The mountain had decided it was time. James tried to ski out. He turned hard left, desperately aiming for the trees. But within seconds, the snow roared. It moved like water, but hit like cement. He was swallowed whole, buried, crushed, still. Beneath 6 feet of snow, darkness closed in.
First thing I thought was, you're dead. You're an idiot. You shouldn't have skied here.
Ah, I see him! He's over there!
Oxygen was pretty limited and I was starting to feel a little lightheaded by the time the guys got to me.
James couldn't move his arms. He couldn't even twitch a finger. His mouth was filled with powder. Every breath pulled less and less oxygen. Panic screamed at him, but he stayed calm.
The last thing I did was I threw my hand up in the air and reached up to the sky with my ski pole.
He's over there!
It was bizarrely emotionless. I had two thoughts in my head, and that was, all right, if they don't find you, you're dead. If they do find you, hopefully it's in time and you might be alive.
He remembered the avalanche training. Create an air pocket. Don't scream. Don't waste energy. Just breathe. He didn't know if anyone saw him fall. Up on the slope, his friends had stopped. They saw the slide. Their beacons went live. They shouted James's name, but got no reply. They pulled out probes and shovels, scanning the wide debris field. The clock was ticking. Survival chances dropped dramatically after 15 minutes of burial. James had been under for nearly 10.
He's over there!
Oxygen was pretty limited and I was starting to feel a little lightheaded by the time the guys got to me.
Coming!
If my ski pole hadn't have been sticking out, they wouldn't have been able to find me at all.
One of the friends got a signal, weak but real. The probe struck something soft. They dug like animals. Snow flew, hands blistered. And then they saw a glove, James's glove. They cleared the snow from his face. His lips were blue, his chest barely moved. But he was breathing. James blinked, just once. That was all it took.
didn't see anything or realize they were nearby until the shovel slammed into my face.
Yeah, we got him.
It was 4 minutes of not knowing at all,
Okay, dude.
which is horrifying.
You good?
The ski patrol arrived 10 minutes later. James was airlifted to a hospital in Sion. No broken bones, no brain damage, just severe frostbite and mild hypoxia. Doctors called it a miracle. James called it luck, mixed with prep. James tells his story to anyone who will listen. He admits they underestimated the risk.
I hope that people will see this video and decide to do an avalanche awareness course and buy all the correct gear before they go out, because it means they may well save a life if they have to and prevent further accidents in the future.
He admits they got complacent, but he also stresses what saved him: carrying proper avalanche gear, knowing how to use it, and having friends who stayed calm and knew what to do. In the mountains, even the most skilled can get caught. It's not about beating nature, it's about respecting it. So what did James learn? Never ignore avalanche warnings. Never go without a beacon, probe, and shovel. And always make sure your group knows how to use them. Don't chase fresh powder blindly. If it feels too good to be true, it probably is. And most importantly, know that even if you do everything right, the mountain still has the final say. James was buried alive for nearly 15 minutes. He came face to face with death and made it out the other side, not as a hero, but as a warning.
Probably the best feeling of my life was when I saw the tip of his helmet and I knew, thank God, we've actually bloody found him.
That first breath was spectacular.
Where your arm is, I'm gonna dig so you can start on. How tall are you? 6 foot. How much is that in?
If you see there, that's the actual slide.
Yeah, that slide there.
It's all sliding there.
The Alps are beautiful, majestic, magical, but they are also deadly, and sometimes the difference between living and dying is just one breath. You've been watching Signal Unknown, where true survival meets cinematic storytelling. Subscribe for more real stories of courage, chaos, and survival in the unlikeliest places, because out there, the unknown is waiting.